He's changed colors again.
Yeah. uh, the Marvel, yeah. Um, I bet they wrote them like around the same amount of time because they're coming out like monthly. So
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't have to like check to see um what colors they used in the last one because most likely it was recent. like like last week they did it. All right, let's. Are we streaming?
Are we streaming?
It looks like it, but it's not showing up on my feed yet. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. Oh, I didn't change my banner thing. Oh well. Okay. We are streaming. Alright, so this week we read The Incredible Hulk issue number 2. And The Terror of the Toadman. Yeah. Overall thoughts. First, I didn't like this one as much as the last one. I feel like they fell back on their uh, go-to ridiculousness plot hole.
Right. Well, I just love the opening statement here. Like a savage, marauding monster from some mad netherworld, the frightening figure of the Hulk suddenly appears from out of the murky swamp. Would you like a thesaurus?
Yeah. And I will say they have a problem of telling and not showing. Because the biggest thing I had about this whole thing is like, oh, he's on a rampage, and we never see him on a rampage. Like,
Right.
and yeah, so I'll discuss it when we get to it. But there was plenty of time for them to show him rampaging if that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So part 1 is Enter the Toadman. Hulk is on a rampage through town, I guess, since we don't really see it. And a citizen in a truck tries to stop him unsuccessfully, which I have so many problems with. Why a citizen are you stopping? Because he's like, oh, well, maybe the troopers will stop him. Why did you think so? Also, if you read the first one, they already tried to stop him with a car, and that didn't work. Stop trying the same thing over and over again. The state troopers, who all look like cowboys, they don't. They seriously look like cowboys. Failed to stop him too. Shocker.
I just realized that.
You did. I was so confused because they're like, oh, the troopers will stop him, and then it shows like a scene of him getting beating the crap out of some cowboys, oh, those are the troopers.
Well, they're out in New Mexico, I think.
They still look like 19th century cowboys. I don't know. Rick Jones shows up out of nowhere and leads him away safely somehow, which I was going to take at face value until later the thing that he couldn't lead him away.
Right.
We then get a flashback to issue number 1, which I'm just going to call out as being lazy. Just copy paste from issue
just
number 1.
Like, why don't you just go by issue 1 and
yeah, like they did, like what 2 pages of issue number 1? Like, come on, guys, come on. Yeah. Then the Toadmen make their appearance in a frog head shaped starship. With a super vague magnetic power technology that they use to track down the most brilliant scientific brain on Earth. Which means that Bruce Banner is smarter than Mr. Fantastic.
Right. And I just have to say that hopefully Stan Lee got a better science education as he went through his career.
I tried really hard not to hate them so much for just using vague magnet, like, ooh, sciencey, we're using magnets. Yeah, it was pretty lazy. um,
Now the scientific knowledge in 1962 was
by
not
comic book
as
writers.
scientific knowledge of the just general public was about at this level,
Yeah.
not as sophisticated as we have now. I mean, this is before we had microwave ovens, and televisions were still, some of them were still black and white, and
Yeah.
before VCRs and computers, and telephones. Even having a telephone might have been unusual at that time. Just a landline.
Right. Right.
So, so I mean, it sounded, if your level of scientific knowledge is not very high, then this sounds feasible. And we didn't gravitational energy or magnetic energy, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
Sheer magnetic energy. Yeah. So we know that in 1962 we knew we had magnets. But that's about all we knew, I was like, okay, we had some magnetic theory. You had to be like a physicist if you really going to get into it.
Yeah. Also, we have to remember their audience was probably like 10-year-olds.
10-year-old boys, yes.
So they didn't have a lot of scientific background.
Right.
Their mine detector, which, I mean, it says that everything uses magnetic powers. So they have a mine detector that uses magnetic powers that looks a lot like a fly swatter to me. Finds Bruce. So Bruce and Rick have a run-in with Betty and General Ross that really goes nowhere. In fact, what I've noticed from this is that General Ross is really like the Hulk. He's got like serious anger issues.
Yeah, he's got serious problems, man.
Like, he's just angry at everybody and everything for absolutely no reason. He's just like flying off the handle.
He is definitely unenlightened.
Yeah. Bruce and Rick are going to an underground cave lake thing that they're hoping will contain the Hulk at night. And while they're there, they get attacked by the Toadmen, who found them, and pinned with magnetic forces. So...
Yeah, how does that work?
The iron in your blood? I don't know.
The change in your pocket? I mean, I don't know how this works.
Who knows? Yeah.
I love the sentence. But suddenly, unexpectedly, at that very instant.
Yeah, I love how there transitions to like, and right now this is going on. Yeah.
It's very dramatic.
Part 2, Prisoners of the Toadmen. My first look at this was that the Toadmen got some short shorts on. They got their legs hanging out.
Those are like some Speedos there.
Yeah. So the Toadmen take them on their spaceship and threaten them with the destruction of Earth if Bruce won't tell them what their technology is. And Bruce says he won't. And Rick mouths off, and which gets him sent back to Earth. Which I have to say, you just threatened to destroy an entire planet with a bajillion people on it. They're tired of hearing Rick mouth off to them, and so they send him safely back to Earth instead of just shooting him off into space.
Yeeting him out the airlock.
Yeah.
They just, they send him back in a plastic capsule.
Yeah, I just don't know why they sent him back to Earth. I mean, number one.
Magnetically guided plastic escape cylinder. Plastic.
Magnetic.
Into outer space. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, see, they lost me in this one. There's so many plot holes and just not... I feel like they're not even trying. I don't know. Maybe they had to rush this one out or something. So, as the spaceship orbits Earth, it becomes night, and Hulk emerges to cause destruction and take over the spaceship. And immediately wants to wipe out all mankind with the weapons on board. Like, is this a dramatic shift for the Hulk? Like, this is just, like, a right turn. Like, yeah. Hulk's angry, and now he's gonna destroy mankind?
First we wipe out the Toadman, and then we're gonna go wipe out Earth. Hey, that makes just perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, the Hulk is a monster angry, but he didn't seem to want to destroy Earth, but whatever. So General Ross sees the UFO coming in and shoots every rocket that America has at it to bring it down.
And of course, that's not going to cause any nuclear fallout or big craters in the Earth or anything like that.
Yeah. And I have to say, once again, the military or the police or whatever are reacting before anything happens. So yes, there is a spaceship in the air, but at this point, it hasn't done anything yet. It's just in the air, and they shoot every rocket at it. I don't get it. So, yeah. Part 3, Bruce Banner wanted for treason. The military finds Bruce inside the spaceship, and he is immediately imprisoned as a traitor without asking him any questions or determining...
Like, how did you end up there instead of... What happened to the Hulk?
And, like, the last time they saw Bruce, he was, like, off on a scientific experiment, and, I mean, he was angry at him, but not... He didn't consider him a traitor to Earth, so that, yeah. General Ross has anger issues. The Toadmen escape underground and send a signal to their other ships to start the invasion of Earth. Which means they never needed to do any of this in the first place. They could have just invaded Earth. Like, they're supposedly super amazing, advanced magnetic power people. So it seems like a real waste of time to have done anything. The military puts Bruce in a no human could ever escape this prison. And Betty...
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh my gosh, this is a top of the line prison for humans only. Betty pleads with her dad that Bruce can't be a traitor, but he doesn't listen to her because I doubt he ever listens to her. Poor Betty. She's like the worst character so far in The Incredible Hulk. There's just nothing. There's just nothing there. Part 4. Hulk runs amok. Of course, when it's night, the Hulk bursts out of the prison, and still no one is putting 2 and 2 together here. We put a human Bruce Banner in this prison, and then the Hulk busted out.
Amazing! What? How did that happen?
Bruce Banner's missing. I don't understand. The Hulk goes after Betty, because I guess that's all he ever does when he turns into the Hulk, and ends up in a hostage situation where the general runs a tank into his own house, but then tells the other soldiers to not shoot because it could hit Betty. He ran a tank into his house.
Yeah, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Were you thinking about Betty's safety when you knocked down a wall of your house with a tank? And once again, the Hulk has done nothing. Yeah, he's in a house with Betty, but nothing's happened. He hasn't hurt her. I'm pretty sure he didn't destroy the general's house yet. The general destroyed his own house by running a tank through it. Yeah. And so part 5, the end of the Hulk, ? So the Hulk lifts up a wall like a garage door opener and runs away with Betty while Rick Jones...
Yeah, they're lifting the wall up like it's a garage door or something. Like, Yeah, the house would fall down if he really did that.
right?
Especially since the tank came through the other
I
opposite
know.
wall.
His house
What's
is
holding this
effed.
house up?
Yeah. That house is no more.
Yeah.
Um and I imagine at this point that the general should be fired from his position for like overuse of powers. Um Rick Jones deduces that he will go to the lab for some reason. Unclear why. I guess maybe these past months he's just been following Hulk around at night, and so he knows.
Well, yeah, because the Hulk saved his life, so he's got to take care of the Hulk.
Oh, yes, and this is the part where that made me angry because he was trying to calm the Hulk down inside of Ross's house, and the Hulk backhanded him. So, like, in the beginning, he was able to just lead the Hulk away at night, but now he can't. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So they get to the lab, and an earthquake hits from the magnetic weapons of the invasion and knocks everyone out. And in the morning, Bruce is himself again, while Betty is conveniently unconscious. Because they couldn't think of any other lines to write her. Bruce decides to use his gamma ray gun from out of nowhere to reverse the magnets while the military tries to take him back to prison. And he successfully sends the Toadman hurtling into outer space forever? Question mark. The general says they can't charge Bruce with treason since he's a hero now, and Rick and Bruce go underground for a night of the Hulk, trying to break out of his new lair. The end.
The end.
This thing was so all over the place. I just don't even know. Like, this was...
The science is just... So we're going to use our gamma ray gun to undo the magnetic gun.
If you're gonna make stuff up, why not just go hard at it? Like, just start making crap up. Because all they did was use the word magnetic like 500 times in this comic. If you're gonna make up magnetic powers, just use a whole bunch of sciencey words and like, oh, we use the magnetic to reverse the polarity of blah blah blah. Or, I don't know. Just make up.
They probably didn't even know about polarity. They just know magnets. They don't know polarity.
But they could, you could just make words up. I mean, they're not trying here. That's what I'm saying. They're taking an easy way out by just using the word magnetic 500 times in this comic. So, yeah. And then there were so many plot holes in this one. And...
Oops.
And if the Hulk, if you're selling this Hulk as a rampaging lunatic monster, maybe spend a couple of panels showing us him rampaging? Maybe? Because everything he does, even the destruction he causes, is mostly necessary. Like, he broke out of a prison, he crashed through a wall to escape the guys with the tank. So, I mean, he's not out of control. He's not just tearing down houses along the street or anything. And if he is, they're not showing it. So, yeah,
the Toadmen were more of a threat than the Hulk was.
Yeah, and then him, he got the ship and he's like, oh, I'm going to destroy mankind. Like, what? Why are you going to destroy mankind? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't understand why he's a superhero. Not in the way they're writing it like this. Yeah. Because he's not heroic.
Yeah.
Even though the Fantastic Four you found really annoying, they at least were trying to help people and save them. The Hulk is trying to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So, I'm not understanding this one.
I think it's maybe supposed to be more like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
But it's just, it doesn't work the way they're doing it.
No.
Yeah, I was not impressed.
So go back to the beginning of part 4 and the Toad King. He's got his outfit on, which is just so funny. It's it's what is that? Magenta?
Oh yeah, and his little short shorts. Yeah.
His little magenta shorts.
When they the
His
previous
little purple booties.
the previous one where he's got like his staff, but he's like holding it like up at the top.
Hmm.
I thought it was like a little toy or like figure of himself, like that he's
Right.
carried a little toy around with him.
But no,
Uh,
that's his scepter.
yeah,
He's a Toad King.
I mean he didn't even really make an appearance, but I mean they drew him, but he wasn't like, oh, the Toad King decides this. Uh,
And the other guys were wearing blue. The other toads.
yeah. Hulk's got on his purple pants in this one.
Yep.
And now he's like a yellow green color, um, from that bluish green color he was in the last one.
Maybe they're trying to figure out what color to paint him. Yeah, he's kind of a sea green in some of these. Oh no, he's the neon green.
Yeah, and yeah, the changing light colors in the comics still bothers me. So like they have three versions of him with the sun rising, and he's like a seafoam green in the middle one. They're trying to display light levels in the comics. I don't like it. Just make him the color he needs to be. It's fine.
Yeah.
Poor Betty. Nothing's happening to her. She just has to deal with a dad who needs anger management. Who I'm assuming she just follows around all day and does nothing else with her time.
And a boyfriend who turns into a monster.
Yeah. Who then comes to like pick her up for a date and she freaks out. So he never does anything to her. I mean, is it supposed to be assumed like that
Where is like King Kong had
the lady?
the lady that he was like really gentle with the
Yeah.
lady, and then there maybe in the Phantom of the Opera, but definitely like Beauty and the Beast where he's really gentle to the beauty.
Yeah.
The Beast is, so it's kind of maybe going like that.
Yeah, I mean, he never does anything. She just freaks out because he's a monster, and maybe he's been rampaging, and we just don't ever get to see it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe he's been rampaging every night since he turned.
I don't know, man, but they got a big they had an awesome thesaurus when they were writing this, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Oh, we have the hyphenated teenager again. Teen hyphenager.
A teen. Oh, I didn't even notice that part.
Yeah. I guess it's not a word yet still in 1962. They also hyphenated countdown. It's just weird.
Well, whether to hyphenate something or not is a matter of personal preference
Yeah.
and common usage. So at that point in time, it may have been hyphenated, and then we just dropped the hyphen and made it one word.
Yeah.
It's possible.
They did use a big word in this. I think it was substratosphere.
Yeah, and that was like wrong.
Yeah.
They did use that word, and it was wrong.
Yeah, and it also looks like it's a little bit different than all the other words. So like that they had to like smush it, paste it in there or something. It's just slightly off from all the other words in that sentence.
So, was it when they first went up, when the frogmen, for the toadmen took them up?
It's when the rockets launched. But the frenzied cry of one boy cannot halt America's mightiest defense weapons as they rise like silent avengers into the awesome substratosphere.
Yeah.
The word's like
Yeah.
tinier, and it's like it looks a little bit like
Yeah, blowing off those nuclear weapons in the substratosphere. Oh, yeah, we're all dead.
yeah. Just the military is really overreacting to every single situation in these comics, and they're also this time they actually brought down a ship. So I'll give them that, because usually it doesn't do anything at all.
Because the substratosphere is below the stratosphere. And I'm pretty sure that like the International Space Station and those things go above the stratosphere. They may be in the ionosphere, or they may be totally outside of. I don't remember. Bad engineer. Don't remember how it goes. I'd have to look it up.
I also have to say, if you're going to cause a worldwide attack, like the Fantastic Four didn't try to do nothing to stop this, because it's the whole world.
Yeah, this Marvel Universe. What are those guys?
Yeah. What's the Fantastic Four doing? Nothing?
They're just hanging out in New York and not gonna help?
Yeah.
Old Bruce over here?
Yeah. I have to say, like, I've been happy about that with the Fantastic Four ones we read, that they really kept it, like, located in New York. Like, everything kind of happened in New York. It wasn't... I mean, there were, like... I guess that's not true. But there... Because of that underground monster thing. But even so, those were, like, specific locations that they figured out from reading... Like the...
Okay, well, they're in New Mexico. This is based in New Mexico. Because that's where they did all of the atomic testing.
Yeah.
Back in the 50s and the 60s.
And that would also make sense why there's UFOs involved in this one.
Right. And that was in New Mexico. And then they have I can't remember the name of the cave system that's there. It's in New Mexico. It's a state park, and I cannot remember the name of it.
I don't know it.
It's a big cavern. It's you're gonna send me to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not to mention that, like, he might have saved the Earth, but they, like, pulled the moon closer to the Earth, and it was already causing rising tide. Like, cities were already underwater, and there was earthquakes everywhere, so, like, the damage done is done, and seems relatively permanent, because I'm pretty sure they already pulled the moon closer to the Earth by the time.
Yeah, that was another one where it's like, okay, the science in this is bad.
Yeah.
Carlsbad Caverns National Park is in New Mexico. So it's an extensive cave system that's near, it's actually near near where they were doing all the missile testing and stuff. White Sands, New Mexico is where they did a lot of that work. And the reason I know that is because my dad went out there. Not because I'm a know-it-all.
I've been to New Mexico just a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go out and go to Carlsbad Caverns.
I saw the Grand Canyon. I wasn't impressed. It's too big. It looks like a picture. Like, you can't appreciate the bigness of it.
No, you can't. I finally went there a couple years ago. It was at Christmas time, and so there was snow on the ground.
Oh, nice. Yep, I got to see snow in Arizona too. That's the first time I've ever seen snow, and the last time, the only time living in Florida, no snow. So next week is still. I mean, we kind of got off track. Cause
we got off track. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do 4 Hulks or 6 Hulks? Because we could go. Well, wait. June's got 5 Wednesdays in it. June has 5 Wednesdays in it.
Okay. So do you want to do one more Hulk and then switch?
We could do that.
Okay.
If that's what, that works. Just do one more Hulk and then we'll switch to the.
For the next one, I was thinking, specifically because of this one that we've read, is that Stanley is not so good at science-y, like maybe we should do like a magic-y or supernatural-y superhero instead of a science-y one.
A science one, because he sucks.
Yeah, because the science isn't so good. Maybe he's good with supernatural magic powers versus science-y powers.
Oh, and the next one we're going to see Hulk banished to outer space, trapped by the Ringmaster and other thrills with everyone's favorite Jade Giant.
Oh, so now he's Jade?
He's a Jade Giant. That's a color. Jade Giant, yeah. So now he is green. He's really green in the next one. Yeah, you got any idea which one? Or maybe I'll go look around.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, the ones I know are from the cinematic universe. So like, Doctor Strange or the Scarlet Witch or yeah. Those are the only ones I know. So we could look it up though and try to find a magic-y one and see if maybe those are better than their science-y ones.
Yeah, really.
Because the science-y ones are a little bit of a fail. So
I'm not so sure if they're a fail. Oh, they have a Black Knight. Oh, that was a... Yeah. You know...
So we'll do one more Hulk, and then we'll switch. And that'll give us 4 in June to do.
Yeah.